Yeah, I'm in the group now. I'm in the group now.
Good afternoon, colleagues. I would like to formally open the public hearing of the Standing Committee on Police Oversight, Community Safety, Cultural Affairs and Sport. As you know, this meeting is about the proposed library bill. We will be getting a presentation from the department just now, but as colleagues are aware by now, and as members of the public that have joined us are possibly not aware, the bill is really intended to regularize the relationship of support to municipalities and municipal libraries as it has been done in the past. It's also to avoid a technical situation of support from the province being taxed by SARS. So we're ensuring that there's a lawful framework that can't technically be taxed. So there's a financial reason, but also it's meant to regularize the support to municipal libraries in order to also facilitate the reading culture in the Western Cape and there's various strategies that the province is pursuing in that regard. Colleagues, I would want to ask the members of the committee if you can introduce yourselves. I'm Thomas Walters. I am the chairperson of the committee. I can ask the members of the committee to introduce themselves.
Greetings.
Good afternoon, Chairperson. Wendy Kaiser-Philander, member of the committee.
Afternoon, Chairperson and everyone. I'm Emery Boyson, a member of the committee. Greetings, Chairperson. Greetings, Chairperson.
Right, I'm asking for members of the committee to introduce themselves. Let me just check which members that I saw. Member Van Minnen. And Member Stevens. Am I audible?
Yes, Chair. Yes, you are, Chair.
Okay, colleagues, there's some of our members who clearly can't hear. I can ask them just to introduce themselves.
I'm an author, Mr. David Mataba.
Yeah, colleagues, I'm asking for members of the committee to introduce themselves. Okay, I'm going to move over to the departmental officials. If you can introduce yourselves, please.
Good afternoon, Chair. I'm Carol van Wyk. I'm the Chief Director, Cultural Affairs. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. My name is and everyone online. My name is Cecilia Sani. I am the Director in Library Service. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair, and everyone present. I'm Peter Richu. I'm Deputy Director at Library Service.
Good afternoon, everyone. Chairperson, my name is Carmen Lucas, and I am from the Western Cape Provincial Library Service.
Right. Anyone else there
Yes.
from?
Yes, good afternoon, Chairperson and everybody else present. My name is Shanaz Seria. I am legal support to the Department of Cultural Affairs and Sport. I am a state law advisor with the Department of the Premier. Thank you.
Right. Let me just ask the members of the committee who have not introduced themselves, if you can introduce yourselves, please.
Good afternoon, Chair and Committee. I'm Donita Stevens and I'm a member of this committee. Thank you.
Now, before I proceed, if I can just ask the procedural officer, based on the introductions of the committee members, not sure whether the others have a technical problem, but based on the introductions that we've received, do we have a quorum for the public hearing to proceed? I just wanted to make sure.
Good afternoon, Chair. Yes, the hearing may proceed, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Colleagues, before we get to the hearing itself, I just want to read out the rules for online public hearings. First of all, keep in mind all the normal rules of the Western Cape Provincial Parliament applies. So keep in mind that this is officially a meeting of the Standing Committee according to the rules. All members and guests should please be muted at the beginning of the meeting to avoid background noises. And please make sure, I think we've been quite good in that regard up until now. So please keep in mind, if you are not speaking, you should be muted. All videos and audio should preferably be switched off to increase the connectivity. And when invited, participants must please raise their hands. We can't have people just speaking. Please raise your hand and wait until I've acknowledged you in that regard. And also remember to switch off your microphone once you finish speaking. So the way the public hearing is going to proceed, I'm going to first ask the department to do a brief introduction of the bill. And then I am going to invite members of the public to raise their hands and be acknowledged. And they will have 5 minutes each to present their inputs to the committee. I would like to stress that the committee is not at the deliberation stage yet. A public hearing is there to hear the inputs of the public. So it's about the members of the public. So we will be listening, it will be recorded, and then it will be the inputs of the public will be used for the later deliberations by the committee. I would also like to ask that each member of the public that would like to make submissions, that they also indicate their name and where they're from. So on that note, I would like to hand over to the department to take us through a brief introduction of the Libraries Bill.
Thank you, Chair. And once again, good afternoon, everyone. So the Department of Cultural Affairs and Sport is the provincial department who is responsible for the provision of public library service in the province through the Western Cape Library Service. Now, the aim of the Western Cape Library Service itself is to provide a library and information service that is free, equitable, and accessible. And we want to provide not only for the reading, but for all the information and learning needs of the communities. And we want to encourage a culture of reading, library usage, and lifelong learning. So just a quick overview, we currently have 375 public library service points. We have 39 mini libraries for the blind. We provide internet access at 229 rural libraries, and we are hoping to obviously expand that. We fund municipal staff about 896. We have a stock of close to 6 million books worth to about 480 million. So the bill that's currently on the table will replace the 1981 ordinance. So what this legislation does, it consolidates the practical cooperation and co-funding regarding libraries between the department and the municipalities in a legal cooperation. So it ensures the ongoing execution of functions between province and the municipality. So the main purpose of the bill, therefore, is to regulate the provision of public library services in the province. It indicates the responsibility of the provincial MEC. It indicates the responsibility of the head of department, as well as the public library administrators in the provision of this public library service. It provides for the registration of public libraries. So any public library administrator, and a public library administrator can be a municipality or any public library administration that wish to open a new service point, will have to register it with the department. So the bill outlines the process for registration as well as the appeals process if necessary. Then the bill also determines the functions of the public library administrators, and this remains the same. This is what our municipalities have been doing. So it's the day-to-day running, the appointment of staff, the provision of the premises, keeping our equipment and books safe, and so on. So it just outlines the functions of the public library administrators. The bill also makes provision for the provincial minister to assign to the municipal councils the service. So this is very important because the legislation of 1981 doesn't do that. So this legislation will allow us to that part of the function that's done by municipalities, that we assign it legally to them. And as the chair said in the opening remarks, this will then make sure that we don't have to pay a 15% VAT if SARS comes knocking on our doors. So all the money will go for service delivery and nothing would go to SARS. What is also important to note is that there will be an assignment agreement that will be signed individually and negotiated individually with each municipality. And this assignment agreement will indicate the responsibilities of the department, the responsibilities of the municipality, as well as the funding arrangements, and it would be signed every 3 years. So there's no changes in the functions that we are currently performing. So the department will continue to provide the funds, to procure and prepare books, to provide a library and information management system, internet access, training, and so on. So the agreements that we will sign will formalize the way that we have been working. The bill also speaks to the procedure of closing public libraries. So if there's any intention to close a public library, there must be a written notice to our minister 90 days before the intended closure. If a public library will be closed for temporary closure for renovations, or there's anything for more than 60 days, the bill asks that the head of department and the minister be informed. And then the legal aspects of the bill is the normal, where the minister can delegate to the HOD and the HOD can delegate to the department. The bill also speaks about the creation of regulations. We do have current set of regulations with the 1981 ordinance, but those are out of date. So we are busy writing new regulations with our municipalities and library administrators that will be published after the bill is promulgated. And this is the day-to-day things. This is more the operations. This is things like how to register, keeping safe the equipment and the books, what happens when a library closes, what must you do with the books and the computers from the department. So those regulations will be published. And then lastly, this bill will repeal the ordinance. And there are also 2 clauses in the current regulations with financial implications. and those will remain in effect until the new regulations are published. But so in short, this is the bill that we are tabling, and we're looking forward to your inputs. Thank you, Chair.
I can ask just procedural officer, is there translation services available for the online hearing?
Yes, Chair. Let's just check the chat group. There are links in the chat group that
Okay.
you would have to click to get to it. But let me just double check with IT quickly.
Okay. In the meantime, we can proceed. If I can ask members of the public that are online, if you want to make a submission, please put up your hand. As enige lid van die publiek 'n bydrae wil maak, sit asseblief julle hand op en julle sal 5 minute kry om vir ons komitee julle idees mee te deel. Ek sien 'n Mr. David Machaba en 'n meneer van Johan van Wyk. Mr. David Machaba, please proceed. You have 5 minutes. Please remember to introduce yourself and tell us where you're from, and then you'll have 5 minutes as well. So please proceed, and after that, Mr. Johan van Wyk. So Mr. Machaba, please proceed.
Yes. Greetings. I'm an author, Mr. David Machaba, on reading facilities. I have published 2 reading facilities which will be distributed as a book contribution to the Western Cape schools. The book distribution is going to support the mental health care of learners, which will help them to improve their performing rate mark. Looking at the performing rate mark of Western Cape is captivating to encourage our learners to go further in their career guidances. You understand? I need to make book contribution to the learners for about 8 million books for each title. Then I congratulate the Western Cape schools for development of building health and education for our candidates. The books will be taken further to the public libraries, which will help the blind candidates on other reading facilities like blind. They will be offered with their hard copies where they can listen and improve their abilities. I believe every individual has been given purpose which they are supposed to work on. I believe each and every individual has been given a purpose from God to help them to be aligned with their careers, with their career choices. I stand for the candidates, for the youth, for them to be able to educate themselves, to be able to propel themselves into their successful careers. It is my regard to work with the Western Cape public libraries as well as the ministers, as we will encounter in building the healthy nation through reading facilities. I stand and I believe that education is the most important, valuable to us to educate the candidates. I need to take further the book contribution to colleges, to universities, as they will embark on helping themselves with their books. You understand? I last previous months, I've been communication with the Department of Sports of Arts and Culture, and the response was on impacting the community as well, on building them. We build a nation that's supposed to sustain themselves as they will rise to their purposeful careers. I believe education is the most important structure that's supposed to help the candidates to go further on their performing rate mark. I believe, Mr. Thomas, is up to you. And Miss Cecilia will have to in the regard to the public libraries as well. Thank you.
Right. Meneer Johan van Wyk, Mr. van Wyk.
Good afternoon, committee. Good afternoon, departmental staff. Chairperson, can you hear me? Okay, thank you. Chair, just in principle, I agree. Johan van Wyk is a normal member of public. I would call myself an MP as a member of public. In terms of the bill, I'm in agreement with the principles that for the rationale for the bill to say that the assignment of library function hasn't occurred, and then obviously to curb the potential that matter relating to the payment of these amounts to the local municipalities for supplying the provincial library services. But I just have a few remarks. In terms of the funding risk assessment done by the FFC and the departmental response to indicate or to confirm or to state that there would be no possible financial liabilities as a risk after the 3-year periods, that is a bit contrary to what the FFC is stating. So that is just something that the committee would need to consider, because currently, I mean, at some municipalities, if we go along the parcel assignment line, I mean, some municipalities are pumping in millions of rands into the library funds. And so the department just need to reconsider the conclusion of the statement in terms of possible financial liabilities as it relates to risk after the 3-year period as well. Secondly, obviously, I would assume that after the bill has been enacted, obviously there's other processes that must be complied with in terms of Section 10 and 10A of the Municipal Systems Act as well, because even there the matter of the 3-year financial projection would also come into some matter of consideration as well. So it would be worthwhile that the department review their statement in terms of no financial liabilities, because that would also need to be considered in Sections 10 and 10A of the Municipal Systems Act, and then obviously you need to read it with the Division of Revenue Act, etc. Furthermore, as well, my main concern with the bill is in terms of Section 5 that makes reference to parcel assignment. Now, the parcel assignment gives the idea that there's not going to be a complete transfer of authority. And that is something that the committee would need to consider, to say, we've got the assignment in terms of Section 126 of the Constitution. Now we're introducing a concept of parcel assignment. And if one read the parcel assignment, one get the idea that the department would still be the owner of the key levers of the library funds. And so whilst we want to address including the VAT issue as well, I mean, that is a consideration that SARS would also need to take, to say that, is this a complete function, a function assignment as contemplated in what the BGR 74 is stating in terms of SARS. So, and also in conclusion, in terms of the BGR 7, the BGR 7 merely clarified or merely consolidated the long view of SARS with regards to VAT as well. So that is also something that the committee would need to consider as well. And based on the reading of BJR 7, BJR 74, they contemplate a full assignment as contemplated in Section 5 of the bill as well. So in conclusion, I've made submissions to the committee. So obviously there are a few considerations that the committee would need to consider. Whether that I would propose in any event is to reconcile the fiscal analysis of the department versus the FFC, and then also do some sort of before enactment of the bill is an act assessment, specifically with reference to sections 10 and 10A of the Municipal Systems Act, with also the other acts, the DORA, the Intergovernmental Fiscal Relations Act, etc. Yeah, but other than the issues that have been raised, I support what the bill wants to do as well fully. Yeah, thank you, Chair.
Okay, let me just check. Are there any other hands, any other submissions from the public? Let me just, I don't see any hands on my side. Let me just confirm with the procedural officer. You also don't see any other hands.
I confirm, no other hands.
Right, if I can ask the department to respond.
Thank you, Chair. I'll start and then my colleagues must please assist. So, Mr. Machaba, yes, thank you very much. We've been in contact and we'll engage with you regarding the provision of books to the Western Cape Library Service and the public libraries, but we agree with you, education is crucial to the development of our young ones. Mr. Van Zyl, thank you very much for all your comments. I've written them down. We will most certainly look at the statement to reconcile the FFC and what we said about the financial projection. But I think what the principle behind it is that there's no additional financial burdens on the municipality as to what they are already providing to do this service. So the funding from our side will not stop. The conditional grant will end in about 2 years' time, but it will be ring-fenced into the department's budget. So our funding for library service will continue. And then, yes, with the B3, it's mostly fully funded. With the others, yes, they do make contributions. But we will sit as a team and go through. We've noted the section 1010. And so we'll definitely look at those comments that you've given. I don't know if Peter or Carol or Carmen wants to say anything. Thank you, Chair.
Mr. Iku, please proceed.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Van Wyk, or shall I say Johan? Good to hear you again. Regarding the partial assignment and your worries about that, I think we need to, again, in further considerations, take that up. I just want to say the partial assignment as envisaged with the assignment to each individual municipality is that it would be partial in terms of that portion of the function that they are currently executing and has been executing for the past decades. So the ground level operations of providing a public library at municipal level will be fully assigned. It is partial in terms of it is that part of the service, the provincial library service will continue providing the support services, procuring, cataloging, preparing the books, distributing them to the libraries, the library system, all other supporting services as we do now. So I just want to make it clear in my head, the partial means that portion of the service that municipalities are already providing, but on that portion, they would have full authority to the point where municipalities can make their own bylaws regarding the execution of library services in their municipal boundaries.
Okay, I see Carol van Wyk.
Oops. Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to most possibly just elaborate in terms of what Peter Hichel was saying just now. So currently in terms of the assignment, partial assignment to the municipalities. So we don't proven the capacity that municipalities have provided the service over the years, and the department or the Western Cape government working with the public libraries in terms of the various operations in terms of providing the book services and all of those kind of things. The current legislation or the bill that you see before you legally consolidate the current roles and the responsibilities that has been done over the years between the public library services and the municipalities. We also do not foresee any financial liabilities after the 3-year period, considering the history of the ongoing funding relation between the department and the municipalities over the decades. So, but we note Mr. van Wyk's inputs to it, and yeah, I just wanted to add that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Mr. van Wyk, I would also like to invite you to maybe send me something in writing that I can also apply my mind to your submission. That would good. Mr. Matthews?
Hi, Chair. Mr. van Wyk sent it just before the hearing, so we have it on the record.
Okay, great. I think that was a very specific input to the bill, and I think that's potentially very useful. So thank you for that, Mr. van Wyk. I would like to ask, are there any other members of the public who wants to make input to the committee? I do not see any hands. I'm going to be sounding like an auctioneer just now as well. It's going, gone. Right, Mr. van Wyk. I knew it's always on the last gone that I get someone. Mr. van Wyk?
So sorry, Chair, for my late head as well, but I perceived it to be if there were any comments from other members of public. No, so sorry, Chair. Yes, colleagues, I hear specifically what you're saying, and I think Mr. Hichel would know I've had some interest in this matter for some time. My biggest worry is the concept of partial assignment, and I think I willfully didn't go into the legal matters of the DORA, etc., and so on. Because I believe that the legal purpose of the Western Cape Parliament would be sufficient as well. I think if one just read section 18 of the DORA, it makes specific reference to assignment as contemplated under section 10 of the Municipal Systems Act as well. So I think in the way that the library matter has been operated since forever, I mean, one would need to understand it. If I talk that language as an example, I mean, previously, the library services were rendered on the basis as, okay, Johan wants to be a DSTV decoder installer as example. But then in this case, the department allows Johan to be a DSTV installer as part of this program. But now if one talk assignment of the function, one is contemplating the full assignment of the responsibility of the function, and then also together with the full accountability, the full resources, etc. So I think in a nutshell, as I said, my only worry is what the department is contemplating on the partial assignment and full assignment, and now we've got this big vet liability as well. That is my major concern. And then also the reference to section 10 and 10A of the Municipal Systems Act. So the idea is that once the bill is done, I mean, there's also subsequent processes. So the idea is that once the work of the committee and all of these other processes are done, we are then happy to say, guys, there's no issue to stay for SARS to come later on, but hang on. That partial assignment should actually in terms of substance over 4 might be seen as a delegation of power instead of the full assignment of the power as well. So that is just in a nutshell. Thank you, Chair.
Mr. Van Wyk, I got the underlying principle of what you were referring to, and I understand you have a written submission as well, so that's something the committee will also be looking at. I just want to check the department. Is there a need to respond to Mr. Van Wyk's input?
Nothing additional from my side. Thank you, Chair.
Nothing from my side as well, Chair. You can proceed.
Yeah. So, Mr. Van Wyk, thank you very much. I do not see any other hands. So that I hereby, well, I'd like to thank all the people that made the effort to attend and hear what we are up to. And I also appreciate the inputs that were made. So with those words, I declare the public hearing closed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you, Chair. Bye-bye.